Welcome back. So third topic, cognitive biases. Right, so we've got two lessons that cover both cognitive biases, which are included in the guide. And apologies for the screaming kids in the background. Anchoring bias. Very simple to comprehend, very tricky to explain in words. That's how I would describe the anchoring bias. So students need to know what is it and why does it influence our behavior. With these biases, I think students will find it much easier to come up with examples than they can definitions, but really encourage them to comprehend the examples first, but stretch themselves to be able to articulate what they are in words, because that is what they have to do in their exam. All right, this brief interview, not the most exciting thing, but it summarizes the model, and to make it a little bit more engaging, I've added a fill in the blanks quiz afterwards in their workbook. So I always tell, in this type of activity, don't write the answers as you go. Just watch, just listen, try to remember, and then at the end, they can work with a partner and they'll have a fill in the blanks. Or you could even not show them the fill in the blanks to begin with and just watch and then do it after and say there'll be a 6-question quiz. It just adds to that intrinsic cognitive load. Okay, so here are the answers. All right, another experiment. This gets a little squirrely, and I hope it works. We've got two groups. I would just divide the class in half, left and right side of the classroom. Group 1, right, left side of the classroom, close their eyes, no peeking. Right, Group 2, keep their eyes open, show them the high anchor. Now, Group 2 closes their eyes. Group 1, you ready? They see the low anchor. Now, you're going to answer these questions in the back of the workbook or scrap piece of paper. By the way, the first two questions are just nothing filler questions. The third question is the critical question. How much do you think this bottle of wine is worth? Write down your answers. Now, come up and guess the bottle of wine below. If you have mini whiteboards, that could work really well for this. Okay, now, see, did our experiment work? Okay, if so, hopefully it works. They'll learn how you manipulated their decision making. Okay, let's go into another simple anchoring experiment. Same groups. Now what I've done here is made group 2 the high anchor group. Higher number, high anchor across all three. It makes it easier to explain later on. So group 2, okay, have this equation to solve, right? Group 2, eyes down, they close their eyes. Group 1, I'm going to add an animation to that slide so it doesn't ruin it. I'll do that when I finish this video. Okay, and then come up, write their answers. Okay, then the Gandhi experiment. Okay, same groups, same thing. Group 2 get the high anchor question. Group 1 get the low anchor. These are the experiments that come straight out of the textbook. And then they write their answers on the board. If you like, no, I still think writing it on the board is the best way to do it. I was just thinking about writing it on paper. Would that work better in a classroom? Maybe it will. I think 3 back-to-back might be too time-consuming, especially, and then this one as well. But I'll let you be the judge of that after the first go. Okay, what percent of countries are from Africa? Okay, this is missing some instructions, this one. So I'm going to go through this. That's the one where they... No. It's not. I decided I didn't need to do high anchor, low anchor, because Group 2 have had all the high anchors already, and Group 1 have had all the high anchors already. They've already had 65 and 10 and the Mahatma Gandhi question, so I don't actually have to re-anchor them, if you get what I mean. So they can just write their results on the board. Right, why did we do this? They're about to find out. This is from the same BBC documentary, but further on, and they do the replication of the wine bottle experiment. I would bring a wine bottle to class if it were me. Props are just a little wee thing that make classrooms a bit more exciting. Okay, chalk and talk on the anchoring effect, and then think per share if they've ever seen it manipulated in the real world. Kitchen timer, 1 minute, perfect for this kind of activity. And then if they can't, because that will be a hard question, see if they can think of any ways they could use it, especially if they were a salesman, right? We're leading towards price anchoring, and that's the idea where you see the visible higher price crossed out next to the lower price. The idea is that when you're deciding, is this worth buying, the original bit of information, the crossed out higher price, biases your judgment, and you can use that to compare the sale price to, as opposed to the actual product itself. All right, notes for anchoring bias. Homework. 5-minute video, how psychics exploit their cognitive biases. To catch the ChatGPT AI answering homework questions for them, I'm trying this little weird test. There's a homework question to answer, But they're not going to know what that question is until the start of tomorrow's lesson. And it's not in the workbook. There's just a space. The question is going to be, what are 2 cognitive biases they talk about? But I figure that might just, prevent ChatGPT cheating. We'll see. Let's see if it works. All right, that's the end of that lesson. The next one is going to be on confirmation bias.